Hi, I'm Judy Herman, and I'm so glad that you joined me. I want to tell you, we all know that Mother's Day is coming up, but I have a great idea for a Mother's Day gift and why I think your mom needs to read Beyond Messy Relationships. And here's why. You know, we go into the store and we try to find just the right card that says just the right things, and we can't quite find the authentic version of what we want to express. But I want to share with you, and we all know this probably deep within our hearts, that mother-child or mother-daughter, mother-son connection is so foundational to our lives, yet it can be so messy. Recently, not recently, actually, I don't know, a year or so ago, my husband and I were sitting and watching a series of This Is Us. Now, we have not kept up with the most recent one in the last few months, but put a 1 in the comment if you are keeping up with that series, This Is Us, or if you've watched it in the past. I love that show. It was awesome. It's a great therapy show. Every therapist loves to watch that because it has so much family dynamics in it. I put in the feed before this live Facebook some scenes that I think are so valuable for Mother's Day. And yes, Rhea, you are watching. Good. I wonder if there's other people out here that are keeping up with the storyline. It goes through 3 different generations and just really puts the pieces of the puzzle together of really what I'm all about in relationships and counseling and speaking and writing about relationships. But there was a scene, it was a mother-daughter scene that I had watched, and it was with the actress that played Rebecca's part, who was the mother, and then Kate was the adult daughter, and there was some interaction going on with them, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's so true. And it's easier to watch another person's story and to watch another person's dynamic, and then we don't feel we're so alone. It's kind of like, oh yeah, this is normal. This is normal. So that's one reason, is because when you watch someone else's story, it really helps kind of ground us in what's normal and what's not, and hey, we're going to get through this. And relationships are messy, and they're messy at certain seasons, certainly in adolescent time of life, but they change, and we need to raise our level of awareness. But also, the reason I think your mom and you need to read Beyond Messy Relationships is there's a powerful line here on page 67. My story is that, and I think probably every mother's story, becoming a mother is so transformational. I don't know, guys never experience this, becoming fathers, but I mean, maybe they do to a certain extent, but having a child in your womb, birthing that child, getting to know the baby, and then the moment of birth is like amazing. And there's this strong bond. It's such a tie that can't be broken. It's like one of the most intimate relationships that we experience in our lives. But I want to read this little passage here on page 67. It says, each of my newborns' transitions from the womb to the outside world made me feel like I was being born again. I became aware of the bigger world outside myself. Each child changed my status and enveloped every ounce of my womanhood. I had become a mother of 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. One by one, each child became a sibling to the others. Where did all this love come from? Being a mother touched a deep place in my soul like no other. Years later, my spiritual director, Dr. David G. Benner, said, Judy, you really are a mother at your core, aren't you? Yes, I said. My authentic self emerged through birthing babies and mothering them well. My 4 children were a part of God's restoration from my foolish decision at the age of 16. Contribution to ministry was another part of that. Motherhood is a deep place in the heart of a woman. All who've birthed or experienced stillbirth, miscarriage, or abortion know this deeply. But sometimes insecurities, grief, shame, self-judgment, and chronic guilt cloud that reality. I say that, I wanted you to listen to that, because for some of us, some of you, Mother's Day is not easy. And I have a blog post that I've written about that. There's some of us that have Mother's Day dread. We just don't even want to face it. It's painful. And I'd like you to read that blog post. It may be encouraging to you. But on another note, why your mom needs to read Beyond Messy Relationships, see if you read it and she reads it. I've got to tell you a story. And I hope my mom doesn't mind me telling the story. She read the manuscript, right? It was scary for me as her daughter. And, you know, this is really scary for her as my mom. I think if it were the other way around, if I was reading one of my daughter's memoirs, I would feel the same way. But I think both of us, I kind of had some doubts, am I doing the right thing? But when that polished manuscript is now in the form of the book, okay, and it came and she reread it, I've got to tell you, it is a totally different experience to read it from the book. And of course she cried, but we had some awesome conversations, Mom and I did. And it was so special. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, when there's transformation in this book, okay? It's not just my story, and just like Kate and Rebecca, their story was their story, and they were actors, and they were acting this mother-daughter thing out. But it does resonate with us deeply in a transformational way. And I think that's what it's going to do with your mom, okay? If you get a copy and you buy your mom a copy for Mother's Day, I think that would be an awesome thing. And then you could be reading the same thing, have some dialogue around the chapters, or see your therapist, whoever's close to you, about that. I'm going to be also developing some questions. I might even develop some mother-daughter questions if you all want that. But anyway, I wanted to share this with you. And it's late. I mean, it's like Thursday. Mother's Day is Sunday. So if you do want a copy and have it sent to your mom, please let me know. And you can press the button on the top of my page. But mothers are special, and they're human, like they're human beings. We make mistakes, right? And there are some occasions, and I've heard of them, that relationship is just too toxic to have a relationship with. We need some clarity on what that is, whether that is or isn't, whether we need some boundaries or not, whether we need to move through our stuff and grow through the messiness. That's our challenge, isn't it? Because that's a foundational relationship, and it has potential for transformation. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me. I want you to have a very special Mother's Day this Sunday. You are special, and we need to really grab a hold of how very valuable our lives are, how very loved we are in deep places of our souls, whether we feel it with our current relationships or not. Let's tune into that reality. But thank you so much for joining, okay? And appreciate you. All right, bye-bye.